Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make this larger than Cricut Joy size mat card using regular mats, no card mat for this one. We're just going to make this square card here. It's currently free in Cricut Joy right now. We're just going to use, I'm using this Anko pack of cards, which is 15 by 15 centimeter cards. We've got, I'm going to use my Cricut Joy pen. That's how I got the writing for happy birthday. Got my weeding tools, my Cricut Joy, my regular mat here, purple cardstock, and some orange cardstock. And I also used some of the scraps up here, and this is a scrap of a different project. Just whenever I've done little vinyl projects, if I've got little gaps, I'll put little stars, little hearts or something, just so I've got some stickers to use and to decorate as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Elleesa and I've had a few personal issues over the last little while. I'm back now and I'm ready to use crafting as my therapy. I'm currently using version 7.33 of Cricut Design Space, and I'm using the live model as well. So let's just jump into Design Space and get started. So I'm going to go new project. I'm going to replace whatever I was using, but always be careful with that one. Now I'm going to go projects, and it's got categories up here still. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to find free for Cricut Joy. And what we're going to do is we're going to find an insert card, and I'm going to adjust it so that I'll be able to cut it out on my Cricut Joy and using my trimmer, because I'll cut the insert out using my trimmer. And then I'm going to glue it onto the front of this larger card. And there's a few ways you can glue it as well. We might take the easy road today. Now I'm going to look for a card. I like to have some birthday cards lying around, and I used up one recently. Alright, here we go. So, got a couple of options. I might go with this Fiesta card. And I'm going to pick you've got to select your size. You've also got to be careful. Now this will print on your Cricut Joy mat just because that's the finished size, so it's already taken into account the margins. But I'm still that is still going to be larger than my card. So I'm going to go with the 10 centimeter version. And you'll see why. I will even trim that down. So you'll see why coming up. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is rotate it. And the next thing I'm going to do is save. Alright, I'm working in centimeters. If inches is your preference, you just go to your settings and you can flick between, and go to canvas, and you can flick between imperial and metric whenever you like, and you can also change your grid size, and there's a few other settings in there as well you might want to have a fiddle with. So I don't really want this to say Fiesta, so I'm going to use this contour feature, and I'm going to turn off everything related to Fiesta, which looks like it is going to be harder than I thought. You just wait till it highlights in dark grey, and then you click and you make sure that it's gone into a faded grey. It's a little bit hard to see sometimes, especially on something like straight lines, because they're really hard to do in this tunnel over there. Now today I will be using my insert corners, but if you wanted to turn them off, you could turn them off the same way, or you can find them in this panel over here and just turn them off. That's up to you. I'm going to leave them on today. See, now I've got that. And I'm going to replace that with some simple text. I'm going to use a free font. I'm going to use the writing version of that font, and I'm just going to write happy birthday. I'm going to position it and I'm going to shrink. Now I'm going to align it where I want, and then I'm going to use the align feature up here and go align center horizontally. And now I'm going to attach those two together. You can also change what sort of pen you want. You could also do that in foil if you wanted. You've got your fine point pens, you've got your extra fine points, your gels, your glitters, and your markers. I think I'm going to stick with the fine point for this one. Now, as much as that was aligned, I'm actually going to detach that. For some reason, it doesn't quite look centered, so I'm just going to do it by eye as well, because that's what designs are like sometimes. Sometimes by eye makes more sense. Alright, perfect. So now we have this. I'm going to make these, resize this, to be 10 centimeters wide. And then I'm going to take a chance and adjust this to 13. So it's going to slightly alter the dimensions. And I'm going to lock it again. Now that is going to be the size of my insert card. I'm going to do that on the trimmer. However, if you don't want to do it on your trimmer, you can go to shapes. You can pick one of these free shapes, or if you have a subscription, you can pick anything down here as well. Just grab a square and make it exactly those dimensions I was saying. So 13 by 10. Lock it. And I am really enjoying that I can change the name. That's my insert. We also are not going to be using our card mat today, so we also need a shape. I'm going to go with the rounded corner rectangle. Is that rounded corners? Yes, it is. Perfect. And I'm going to make this 10.78 and a 13.78. You can see why I picked round numbers early on. This has got to be the same colour. It's got to be sent to the back. Is it the same colour? No, it's not. Is it? Material colours. Yep, that's okay. Now, this is attached. So from here, I'm just going to align. There's a couple of options. You can go align left, align top, or you can go align and then go align center so that everything doesn't move everywhere, or we'll undo that. You can just go align center and it will move it where you want. And now attach. And that's going to be our card, and then we're going to put our insert into that, and then we're going to glue this whole thing to the front of the card. Is that making sense? I hope it makes sense. Now, I'm also going to change my insert to the guide, because I'm just going to use my trimmer for that simple cut. If it's a bit more complicated, you've chosen a size that's a little bit off, it's going to be a bit harder to be accurate, then you can go ahead and cut that on your Cricut Joy as well. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is press make it. And I'm going to say on mat, confirm. We're not doing card mat, we're just doing on mat. And so I've used up the whole width of the mat. I'm just going to pull it down slightly so that I don't keep cutting on the same part of my mat up the top. Depending on what piece of paper I want to use, I might just pop it down to the 1 centimeter line. I know where it is. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to then go ahead and press continue. Alright, let's get prepped. Okay, so now I have over here my trimmer. Now I'm going to use my orange on the outside, so to make the stencil. Now, probably need to make that the width of the mat, so that'll be the 4 and 1/2 inches wide, and then the length we need is 16. Is it worth? No, I'm going to take the whole thing, so that, and then I'll use the scrap to make something with this card, I think. Yeah, that's the plan. So we'll just take the whole lot, pop that part away with my cardstock ready for another use. Now I've also got this little bit here, and then also had a little bit here. Now I'm going to use that when I do the card. But what we need to do is this is when I said I was going to just cut the card down myself. So I only wanted 10 centimeters by 13. So I'm going to put my 13 in here. Now I always like to use my trimmer where I push the trimmer towards the solid edge here. And I need, what's it, 10. Oh, that was 13. So now I need to go 13. Is that there? Oh, I'm confused. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm a silly sausage sometimes. 13. I need to go this way. 13. Straight edge there. And this will become my insert. So I've got 13 by 10. Excellent. So this piece here is my insert. This will go on my mat, and I will use the scraps on it later. And I'll let Cricut cut that. I'll just pop these aside. Now I'm just going to get my light grip mat. Oh yeah, trimmer. Cricut branded trimmer has a lovely extendable arm. One of the main reasons I got it. It's also got different blades underneath the back, including a scoring blade. But I haven't had much success with the scoring blade, so I'll let you know when I do. Alright, light grip mat. Line it up. I did push this design down a little bit. I've got scrap in there, so that's not a problem. Either use a brayer or the back of your scraper. And my Cricut Joy isn't on, so turn that on. And make sure I have enough room at the back of it. That's my cord in the way. The heat press cord is in the way. Excellent. There we go. Now, I have enough room at the back for it. Also, I like to clean my blade regularly with a ball of aluminium foil. So I'll just clean it. This doesn't sharpen your blade, but it does clean it. Now we'll go back to Design Space and press continue. And we'll wait while we connect to our Joy. It's asking me to select my base material. I'm using light cardstock. My Joy is needing a lot of more pressure at the moment. You might not need that. It's also asking me for that pen that I forgot about. So let me just go find that pen. I'll be right back. Here it is. Found it. I'm just using the default pen that came in the box. My default pen is still going strong. So now I'm ready to load. and I'm going to press go. Now some of the models, the magnet actually attaches your blade up here. Mine annoyingly repels it and my magnet is underneath. But if you've got a newer one, your magnet might hold your blade while you're waiting. Okay, now I'm just going to unload. So I'm going to take my cover. I'm going to pop it on top. It's a little trick I use. I'm just going to pop my machine away as well. Just wipe off my mat. Okay, here we go. So now, put my cover back on. This is so when I turn my mat upside down and start peeling my design away, that the sticky part is not I do that so that the sticky part of the mat over here isn't touching everything else. So now I just need to come along, take everything else off. And find my scraper, because you don't want your finger oils on your mat. You really don't. Learned that one the hard way. Give it a good clean. You get the idea. That looks like my mat will need a clean soon. So I'm just going to quickly pop it sticky on. I'm going to pop the confetti away. Now I need to find my tools. As I said, my desk is a bit of a mess. And pop out those last few that didn't pop out automatically. If you can be gentle with them, they usually come out perfectly. Hopefully I got everything. At least this is not HTV or heat transfer vinyl or iron-on vinyl, because with those they're not very forgiving when you forget to weed something. Now where did I pop my pretend insert? So this is my pretend insert. Call it pretend insert because I'm just going to pop it through now. That's looking pretty good. What's that? Not loving that light. Let's see what happens if I turn that light off. There we go, that's much better. So it is the darkest, dreary day here because I am in the middle of winter. Well, we're not in the middle of winter. We're in the end of autumn and the weather is our usual middle of winter weather. So here we go. Let's see if you can see that a bit better. Right, so now that is ready to go. Now you can simply glue that then to the front of a pre-made card. like this, for example. Right? Or we can do something more complicated. So let's give this one a go. I've also noticed, so I've used the Anko brand of cards. They're 10 cards with envelopes. They're rather cheap. And so, I don't know if you can see, but they're not even folded properly. But luckily for us, we've got really good tools here with our Cricuts. So I'm just going to make sure I line that up perfectly where I want it, hold it, and then I'm just going to push out and hope that I reline up that crease. See what I'm doing? It's much better. Alright, cool. That's much more accurate. Yippee. Okay. Could have done a little bit better, but perfection is not everything. Now we could also do it a different style, but to be quite simple, I could just glue that like that. Or this way. And then we could do some matching details on the inside. Or we could do it a different way. I think we'll do this one the simple way today. I've changed my mind. I said crafting. I'm using my crafting as my therapy at the moment. So bear with me for the time being. What I will do is slow things down and I won't speed things up in the video because I've always been of the opinion you can hit pause, but also that works in reverse because you can also just hit fast forward or put me at double speed if you would prefer. Okay, so here we go. Having a good laugh at myself because I feel like I should have planned this better. That's okay. So this is my insert card. We've made the frame bigger. Now what are we going to do? I'm going to use my double-sided tape because I don't know where my glue stick is. That should be okay. We'll just pop the tape on it. Keep things simple. So I'm going to go tape along the edge. Start with the obvious, tape along the edge. Do a little bit more. Go the other way this time. So tape along the edge. Try and catch some of the purple and some of the orange. Tape along the edge. And do a few thinner bits. So I'm just taking my tape roll, ripping it. You could be more accurate. As you can see, I'm choosing not to be. What I am doing is picking up the straight edges against the straight edges. So I'm taking my tape roll, taking a little bit, ripping it in half. And then popping the straight edge against the straight edge. And now I think I've got enough on there. Now I'm going to line this one up by eye. And I'm going to make this a side fold card. Side fold card. Side fold card. So, side fold card. Now I'm just going to line this up by eye. I'm going to also use the 2/3, 1/3 principle. So, I'm going to have a little bit less space up here and more space down here. And that will be my design choice. Things I've learnt. Weeding tool. Great for picking up your double-sided tape. It's the best part of getting tools. Just give it a clean with your ball of aluminium foil again. Doesn't sharpen, just cleans. Does work. But will not sharpen. So if the problem is that your blade has lost its sharpness, it won't help. If your blade is just dirty, it will work a treat. Again, not being 100% accurate, going more for ease and fun. Checking, this is the part you've got to check. Check 100 times. Your card is opening the correct way before you glue. Make sure that fold is where you want it. That's not quite where I want it. I'm still trying to push a little bit more. If I can get that a bit more on it. Ah, that fixed up that last little bit. Now I'm going by eye on this one though. That one I'm happy to go by eye on. 2/3, 1/3 principle. And making it look good visually. Now if you want to use a scraper to smooth that out, turn it upside down. As you can see, I just flipped the card. If you flip all those little cuts, you'll cause yourself a problem. Okay, so I'm happy with that visually. It looks great. Now I had a few scraps here. I had this piece and I had a piece of purple. Just happened to have nothing to do with the actual thing. And what I'm going to do with these, and this is a bonus optional extra, it's really useful if you have a trimmer too. So I'm just going to go with taking this off here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm going to put a strip down there, like that, line it up, cut it, and then I'm just going to put a strip in the middle and line it up and cut it, and just to make it match, no other reason, just for a little bit of personal touch. So what I'm doing here is I'll put this in where I want it. I probably want to make sure, just to make it look like it's on purpose, I'm just going to make it a bit shorter. So I'm going to go about there. I've got my trimmer. If you have the Cricut branded trimmer, don't forget the arm. Okay, so I'll line this up so you can see. My camera isn't quite accurate, so that is there. I'm going to make it shorter on purpose, so I'm going to go with the 14 there. So it will be shorter on purpose. And then again, I've got this scrap here. I'm going to make that, how wide do I say? How wide is this? So I didn't actually measure it, it was just a scrap. 4.5. Make it 3.5. 3.5. Don't like using the trimmer in that direction, this direction, towards the straight edge. Yeah, pop that in there. That looks like it needs a bit of a trim as well. Doesn't look quite accurate, so I might actually start that though. That looks better. And just pop that in there like that to give it a little bit of a match. So here we'll do the same because I'm completely lazy with my glue at the moment. Take this, I'll take the trimmer away, rip across the top, flat edge across the bottom, pick up, say 52, say picking up, pick it up. I'm going to go with lining this up by eye. It's meant to be a homemade card. Sometimes a little bit of imperfection makes it look great. Again, top, bottom. Just gonna go with sides. Make sure not upside down. Excuse my phone. Now that will stay in there. Now this is where, if you had any vinyl scraps, when I say grab some stickers or something, this is where that comes in handy. You can just pop some stickers on there, just gives it a bit of interest. The fact that it sort of comes away a bit, again, gives it a little bit of interest. So let's see if I've got any stickers. Okay, so I found like these little stars in like a peachy colour. Not sure about them, but they'll do. Just pop them on. So one looks great. I think I'll leave it at that. So perfect. So we just got one little star. And we're done. Got outside of the card, inside of the card, ready for someone to write on. Maybe we'll pop the other star on the envelope and use it as the envelope seal. Perfect. Easy happy birthday card, larger than the Cricut Joy mat. Using your Cricut Joy and using currently free projects. Happy crafting! Hi, my name's Elleesa. I'm an Aussie and this channel is my home of Cricut Joy friendly projects in mostly metric, but also a little bit in inches because the Cricut standard products are in inches as well. So if that sounds like you, hit the subscribe button and I will see you again soon.